In this one we're going to be installing this 2.2 gallon Axe gas tank along with the Rogue rear fender which I bought from Lowbrow Customs on my 1972 Harley Shovelhead. As you can see, I've already removed the FLH tins from my Shovelhead, and what I'm doing here is just removing the old speedo mount. After moving the wiring loom out of the way, next was to remove the brackets which held the stock tank and the stock speedo. Now to whack the tank on the frame to see how high I want to mount it on the frame. And I've got to say I'm pretty happy with how it sits at the moment. So next we have to drill some holes into the frame so we can weld some threaded bungs into the frame to mount the tank. So we're going to utilise this hole in the frame where the speedo cable ran through. Welding in the safety boots I see, Daz.
Yeah, of course.
Now the bung's welded into place, it's time to tidy it up with a grinder. Now to drill a hole into the front tank mount. Now to mount the tank with the front tank mount, so we can drill a hole into the rear tank mount and the frame. Then we can weld in the rear threaded bung.
That's a funny looking bench.
Alrighty, the tank's all mounted, so now we're going to install the Rogue rear fender, so it's going to be a piece of cake to install, and all I have to do is remove the shocks to remove the stock fender struts, then we can whack the Rogue rear fender on.
Now these new struts go on the inside. As you can see, it's got a little recess which goes around the lug on the frame.
And that's the Rogue rear fender mounted. So now I'm going to see if the repair receipt I have lines up with the Rogue rear fender. And thankfully the seat lines up nicely. I'm pretty happy with that. Although I'm not really happy with the FLH front end on this bike. It looks way too big for the rear fender and the tank, so it's got to go. And I'm going to be replacing it with a Shovelhead narrow glide front end, which is a 35mm front end. In replacing the forks, I'll also be ditching the massive FLH headlight, and I'll also be getting rid of the 16-inch front wheel and replacing it with a stock 19-inch front wheel.
These fork caps are actually locking the triple trees in place, so I've got to remove them.
So here you can see my narrow glide front end lying on the ground in front of the bike, and what I didn't film was dismantling the forks for the rebuild, and I also shaved off the little tabs on the side of the forks where the reflectors mount, as I wanted my whole fork to look rounded. So before I go ahead and polish my fork lowers, I'm going to be replacing the bushings in my triple trees. So I've just gone with some A. Ness polyurethane bushings, which are much stronger than the stock rubber ones which are perished in my triples anyway. So here we've rigged up my fork lower in a wood lathe. Yes, I know it's redneck engineering, but it's going to be the easiest way to polish the forks so they're nice and shiny. So now the fork lowers are nice and shiny, I'm going to go ahead and rebuild the forks. First off is to replace the seals on the top caps. Then drop the top hats into the fork lowers, followed by the fork dampers into the fork tubes. Alrighty, so the top hats are now in the fork lowers and the dampers are in the fork tubes. Now what I have to do is install the new bushings, and I didn't film it, but we already removed the stock bushings from the fork lowers. So now what we have to do is slide the bushing over the tube and put it into the lower. And my father-in-law is using some steel tube which is larger than the diameter of the fork tubes to ram those bushings down. Now the bushings are installed, it's time to whack in the new oil seal. And again, just ramming the seal into the fork lowers using some PVC tubing, and then to install the snap ring. Now the fork tube's installed with the new seals, I'm going to go ahead and install the bolt which goes at the bottom of the lowers to secure the fork dampers, and the kit comes with some new copper washers. Then to replace the oil drain screws with the ones in the kit, and again installing some new copper washers onto them. So these fork tubes are 2 inches longer than the stock fork tubes, so what we had to do was make some 2-inch aluminium spacers which are going to sit on top of the fork springs. So in goes the spring. Now we're going to whack 6.5 ounces of fork oil in the tubes. So before installing the new front end on the bike, I'm going to be ditching my S&S air cleaner for one that is a lot more minimalistic and probably serves no functional purpose other than it just looks good. And I'm also going to be ditching the twin throttle cable for a single cable because the bike's going to be a chopper and single cables look much cleaner. So off comes the twin throttle cable return, and I'm going to be replacing it with this brass single cable return that I purchased off Lowbrow Customs. On goes the stock throttle return spring. Right, well I didn't get to film clicking it in because
it just popped on by itself.
Now it's the air cleaner.
That's the air cleaner?
Yep. We've discovered if you're replacing the S&S stock air cleaner which goes on the S&S carb, you won't be able to use the stock choke that mounts onto the air cleaner body, as that little tab there locks onto the choke plunger and pulls it up. So on goes the new air cleaner cover, and I'm not going to call it an air cleaner because, well, I don't think it is. Now I'm just going to change my choke plunger for a finger pull choke plunger which I purchased from Lowbrow Customs. As easy as that. Well, that's the new air cleaner cover installed, and before I whack on the new narrow glide front end, yep, gonna hit my shovel head with a rattle can. Don't even care. Just want to cover all that stuff I grinded down so it doesn't rust. Now the frame's looking all schmicko, it's time to whack the front end on the bike. Alrighty, so because the paint on the bottom of my Triple Tree is pretty beat up, I'm going to be running this stock chrome cover, and that just needs to sit on there for the time being. Now I'm whacking a washer on top of the spring, followed by the 2-inch aluminium spacer. I'm just going to lock the fork in place. It's nice and tight. So same dealio with these. New dust cover goes on. Be careful not to squeeze out all the fork oil I put in there. Should have put the forks on the bike and then filled it up with oil, but live and learn. And that is tight. Now the last thing I'll be doing is ditching the controls for the side running boards. As you can see, I've already removed the running boards. So I'm going to be replacing these controls with some forward controls that are in far better condition. Master Cylinder has seen better days.
And that's going to be it for this one. We've made some pretty good progress on the bike. And in the next one, I'll be mock fitting a sissy bar with a tail light. I'll also be installing some ape hanger handlebars and whacking on a 19-inch front wheel with some brand new tyres. But thanks very much for watching, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one. See ya!